Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be how to overcome your feelings of shyness and insecurity, or inferiority. When I was younger, and if you've read my book, How to Be a 3% Man, you'll know that when I was younger, I was, to put it in a nice way, probably pretty fucked up. Let's just be blunt about it. My relationship that I had with my mother was very cold, very distant. She wasn't affectionate. She was the type of person, if you've read the book, The 5 Love Languages, the way she showed love was that she bought gifts. She didn't say, I love you. She didn't show affection. She didn't do any of those things. And what she did do is when we did something wrong, my brother and I, was we got yelled at, basically. And so as a child, when you're growing up, and the only thing that happens to you is you get yelled at, but you don't get any validation, you basically grow up very scared and worried and paranoid that you're basically not doing the right thing. And so you don't know when you're doing something right, and you don't know when you're doing something wrong. And a lot of times what happens is we become emotionally anchored to thinking and feeling or accepting beliefs that are limiting and totally get in the way of us being ourselves. I mean, when you look at little children, what do? They see a puddle, they jump in it. There's mud in it, they don't care. There's a puddle. That's all they look at, is having fun and living life and experiencing life. That's why you can give a kid a box, like a 6 or 7-year-old, a little box, and they're good for the whole day. Maybe even a week. They're making a spaceship out of it. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it. And they're excited about just the littlest, simplest things. But it's like as we grow up and we start to take on our fears and our limiting beliefs of our parents or our peer group or our friends, then what happens is we start to feel fearful and we start to feel ashamed of the things that we want in life. And like, at least in my case, since I never knew when I was doing right or when I was doing wrong, I just realized it was better if I just shut up and I said nothing at all. And that's the worst thing, is because every single person that is watching this video is completely unique. You're completely different than any other of the 6.5 billion people on this planet. You've got quirks in your personality, you've got talents, you've got gifts, you've got things that you're naturally inclined to that I couldn't do or somebody else couldn't do or the next person. And the way I look at that, and when you look at things for the truth that they are, is that God created all of us the way He created us for a reason. He had a purpose in mind when He gave us the big ears or the big nose, or we walk the funny way that we walk, or we say the things that we say, or we talk the way that we talk. We're all different and we're all awkward. And so what happens, we take these things and we basically, like at least for me, I always held everything inside. And when you talk to people that knew me in high school, especially the girls, they'll always say, he was always so quiet. It's usually I was quiet until I had a few beers in me, and then I didn't care anymore. And the real truth to all this stuff is, and one of my teachers once said years ago, is he said that shy people actually have a lot to say. It's better if they speak up. But what happens is we want to be loved and we want to be accepted by our peers. But what happens is when we're not, then we figure, well, we just might as well keep to ourselves because everybody makes fun of us and teases us. And I got an email here from a reader. It's actually a girl who's 17 years old and she's getting made fun of at school and teased. And she thinks of herself, she thinks, hey, I'm totally normal, but these people are always messing with me. And so I'm shy, and I feel inferior, I feel insecure. And so basically she's feeling all the things I think all of us have felt at some point or another in our lives when we want to be accepted by others. So let me read the email to you. She says, hi, my name is Erica, and I'm 17 years old. My problem is fighting my shyness. Sometimes I also feel inferior to my classmates, but I'm a normal person. I haven't any problems or something like this. They are bad, and they're often jokes about me. They also criticize me, the way I act, the way I talk. I sincerely don't know what to do. I become angry for this, but I also feel hurt. What do you recommend? Thank you for reading my email. Bye-bye, Erica. Well, Erica, I can totally relate to your problem and what's going on with your classmates. And one thing you got to understand, and I say this a lot, I say it in my book, I said it in my audio courses, and I try to repeat it as often as possible, and that's this truth. There's actually two of them. The first one is, no one will ever do or say anything to you that is not a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. No one will ever do or say anything to you that is not a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. And the second one is, no one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do. No one will ever say or do anything to you that you don't invite them to do. And so what does that mean? What's basically going on here with your friends? And here's what I know. When people attack other people, other human beings, or parts of their personality or things that they don't like, what they're really doing is they're projecting. When someone says, you walk funny or you walk dorky, what they're really doing is they're projecting the fact that they themselves feel uncomfortable when they walk. And so when they can attack you and tear you down, and you show and communicate weakness to them by being upset or offended at this, you're basically validating for them that the way they feel and the way they think is correct. And so therefore they continue to do it. However, what I learned to do and how I learned to deal with it is I realized that, hey, these people are just projecting their own crap and their own issues inside, because human beings, we tend to not like in other people what they are connected to in themselves that we're disconnected from in ourselves. I give an example. If I'm a really happy person, people that are miserable and hate their lives are going to attack me. They're going to, oh, you're always so fucking happy, and you're always so up, and you're always so positive, and blah, blah. And you say, hey, that's just the way I am. It's a lot healthier to be happy. It's better for your body, because when you're unhappy and you're miserable and you're upset, your body actually produces toxins and acids that makes it toxic and harmful to your tissues. I mean, your thoughts literally become things. And so the way to deal with your friends is to laugh it off with humor. And you could say something simple when somebody says you walk funny. You can say, yeah, well, I'm in one of those awkward, that awkward teenage phase where I look kind of funny. Maybe my feet are big, or I got a big nose, or I got big ears. But you know what? Wait till 10 years down the road when we all come back for our 10-year reunion, because I guarantee you're going to be going, damn, that girl's hot. Or, wow, she really filled out. And maybe I'll become rich and famous. And so you better be nice to me if you want to come and hang out in my mansion later when I'm rich and famous. And you could laugh it off. I mean, that's the type of humor, self-deprecating humor, that basically communicates, I'm strong. I'm comfortable within myself. And whether you like me or not, I don't really give a damn, because your opinion doesn't matter. Think about it this way, is when people throw or try to give you a label, or they say you're stupid, or you're this, or you got big feet, or you got long legs, or you got a big head, or whatever the hell you have a big nose, you have big ears, whatever it happens to be, you just got to laugh it off. One of my girlfriends, she's got really big ears, and she's gorgeous, but you never know her ears are there because she's got long, straight hair. But whenever she takes her hair and she puts it over her ears, I mean, they're just like, whoosh. I mean, they're like Dumbo. I mean, they're really big, but you'd never notice because she's this tiny little, petite, beautiful woman. But when she pulls her hair back, I'll tease her and make fun of her. It's like, hey, it's my favorite Keebler elf, And she laughs it off. She's funny. She's like, I got big ears. But she's gorgeous, and she's hot, and she's playful. And she never assumes or acts like she's offended in any way. Why? Because she had a bunch of older brothers. And even to this day, they're always messing with her. They're always teasing her. And she always assumes that is in the form of playfulness, and it's in good taste. It's just being good humor. I mean, you think about it. You think about your closest friends. I mean, don't you guys razz each other and tease each other from time to time? So when people make fun of you, you should laugh it off and just use self-deprecating humor to show that you don't take yourself too seriously. And quite frankly, they shouldn't either. That's the best way to handle these situations so you can move on. Because if you show that it doesn't bother you and you're cool with people making fun of you, they'll like you. And as a matter of fact, you being you will unconsciously give them permission to be themselves. So if you find these video messages of value, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button and clicking donate and donating $1, $5, $10, $50, whatever you feel is equal to the value that you received from this video newsletter. If you're watching this video on my website, you can also share this article with all your friends and family by clicking the Facebook send, like button, or any of the other social networks, and click those buttons to share it there. If you got a question that you would like me to answer in one of these future video newsletters, I can't guarantee that I'll answer them all or that I will use them, but just click the Contact Me tab and send me an email and detail your situation or your problem, and give me several days or a week or so to schedule it and get back to you, and take the time where I can actually craft a response. Because when I make one of these articles, I'm going to spend 3 or 4 hours doing it, so it's not like I'm going to bang these things out in 5 minutes. And so if you'd like to hire me and maybe become a paying customer, a paying phone coaching client of mine, you can go at the top of the screen if you're watching this on my website, click the products tab, and just follow the instructions and book a phone coaching session with me. And I will talk to you soon.